Heading out on the go now to Mike Siona, learning how to stay safe in the kitchen this morning. Mike.
Well, we are here at Parkland Ambulance in Prince Albert with Lyle Karasik, and we are cooking up safety with Lyle. That's what we're going to call this morning here. It's your own cooking show.
Exactly.
Lyle, let's start with, obviously, kitchen safety, and maybe, I don't know if it's number one, but it's certainly top of mind, cuts.
Well, absolutely. Cuts or burns are probably the two biggest things that you'll encounter in a kitchen. Often we cut ourselves through food preparation. Something breaks and we, grab a broken glass or just something like that. We want to just remind folks that the simplest and easiest way to stop any bleeding is find something like a cloth, tea towel, kitchen rag, whatever you have. If you start to use paper towel or Kleenex, that's great, but that stuff is meant to dissolve in water. So when you're putting it on something like liquid, like bleeding, it's going to be a little bit mushy and whatever. You want to put firm direct pressure on that, hold that for a little bit, and then your usual Band-Aid, if it's a minor cut, some antibiotic ointment, those sorts of things are perfectly good treatment. If it's a little bit bigger or a little bit bad, you're off to an emergency room to get maybe some stitches, been there, done that sort of thing, and that's what you want to try to avoid, being safe in your kitchen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And obviously, just having something like a first aid kit on standby is going to help you with that.
Absolutely. Good common sense tips like a first aid kit. You can have one at home in the kitchen, and you don't have to buy a commercial one. You can build it, put it in Tupperware, and lots of us have got containers of all sizes at home that we can just put something in the cupboard, have it handy, easy to get to.
Perfect. That's cuts. When we come back, we'll talk burns. Well, we are in the kitchen with Lyle Karasik today as we're talking about kitchen safety and first aid and all sorts of good things from bad situations. And one of the worst situations you can find in a kitchen would be burns, right, Lyle?
Absolutely. Burns are probably the most common thing next to a cut or something like that. Absolutely next to slip and falls, too, because our floors are wet and they're linoleum or something other bad. But burns, hot surfaces. The common misconception is that we want to put something on the burn to help the pain. The quickest thing is all of us have running water in our kitchen. So if you burn yourself because you've taken this hot pan, slid it into the oven, and then forgot, that's a hot item in the oven, and grabbed it, cool water. And you want to cool it as long as you can so that you want to prevent the blistering. Things like having butter or margarine are not meant for burns. Butter or margarine are what you cook with or you eat, not for putting on a burn. Then if you do end up with a blister, please don't break the blister. Just try to keep it as clean, dry as you best can. If it's really bad and something is caught on fire, hopefully you've put that fire out. If not, you need other emergency providers to deal with that problem. But get some medical attention if it is quite a bad burn that you may need some further treatment.
Perfect. And let's say it's not to that level, but it is more minor. You would have things in a first aid kit as well that could help with that, right?
Absolutely. Often your first aid kit has all these items. And as we start to think of outdoors, it's barbecue season going to be soon. It'll be camping season. And all those things require your first aid kit and a little bit of common sense to help with. Remember that, too, often many of us hang a tea towel on our oven door. If you've got little ones at home, what do when mom's baking cookies? They pull on this, and it's easy to open the oven versus getting rid of that for a little extra safety tip as well.
There you go. All right. Well, just another little tip and more useful information in the kitchen than you ever thought you'd get from Lyle Karasik.
Our Mike Siona is in Prince Albert this morning, getting real-world tips that you can use.
All right, we're talking home safety with Lyle Karasik here in Prince Albert at the Parkland Ambulance. We're in your kitchen, literally, right now. And we're talking first and foremost about kitchen cleaners and poisonings and how to stay safe.
Well, correct, Mike. Often we've got all these things and just common, simple things like we've got dish soap or common cleaners. These things all have a hazard with them. To whatever the degree, we have all kinds of laundry powders and those sorts of things. You want to make sure if you've got little ones, toddlers that can open cupboards, obviously you've got child locks, or put this stuff in a higher cupboard, things like that. If you live in an apartment, for an example, maybe laundry is not on your floor and you've got chemicals because you buy them in bulk, they're easy to store. but you got to carry that. And so rather than carrying a little one, a laundry basket, and this, we often want to pour something into another container. And sometimes we'll grab a common thing like a soda pop container, twist top. And so we set that on the counter. And if a child sees that, they often associate the soda pop with something good. And so now you've got a child who takes this, swallows a cleaning chemical, and you have a hazard. If you run into a poisoning and the person is awake and talking, the first and foremost thing you should do, call poison control. We have an excellent poison control system within the province. They'll give you the resources that you need. If you need to go to a hospital, they're going to send instructions to the hospital ahead of your visit so things go smoothly. But often you can deal with some of these things at home.
No doubt about it. It all starts, I like that point you say, lock up the cupboards, put it up high, help to quell the curiosity, because it truly is an ounce of prevention can prevent a whole host of problems down the road. Thanks very much, Lyle. Even I learned a couple of things, but that's always the case when we come out to see you.